questions, and if I improv, I can
That's
improv,
great.
and then you can just cut it.
That's
you know,
great.
that's all.
All right, so Pastor Bob Mayer, is that how you would be?
Yes, they
identified?
typically call me Rev Bob.
Rev Bob.
And that originates because there were two Bobs who were Methodist pastors up in Port Jervis, and he had been Pastor Bob, so they said, we can't get confused and call you Pastor Bob. We're going to call you Rev Bob, and that's stuck for the last 12 years. So.
Oh, that's great. But if it's official, is Pastor Robert?
Well, they would go, well, actually they go Rev Bob Mayer.
Okay,
Reverend Bob Mayer.
Okay, good.
That's fine.
That's just for the record.
Okay.
And this is a wonderful old church with an amazing new technology out on the perimeter. Can you tell me about the process? You had this old sign.
Oh, well, actually what's been going on here is this process for the sign started about 2 years ago. We realized that our biggest communication with the community is your sign. And I've gone to these seminars and workshops on how to grow your church and all this. And what they keep coming up with is 80% of your advertising is your sign. If it's not current, if it's not up to date, the community thinks you're doing nothing. So we had this old sign out there, you know, the big ones like this, that you'd go out and put the letters in. It looked like a used car lot. And it would be out there, and you'd put the letters in, and then the letters would blow away. So the pastor would be out there in all sorts of weather, rain, sleet, or snow, picking up these letters from all over the field. So in noticing that I would have to do that all the time, I probably wasn't as current with it. And there's nothing worse than looking at a sign and it's got the dinner that happened 3 weeks ago. So we realized that we had to get something better and more up to date. And it would show, you know, that we're trusting in the Lord to help us do this. So we made some contacts, and we investigated on the web, and we narrowed it down to Stewart Signs because we knew of their reputation, and we've seen them of the familiarity with the Methodist Church. And so we started that process. The town was very good with us. They worked with us real well. Mark Duschel down in Florida was really good. I mean, every time I needed something, boom, he would email me what I needed. And so we had a couple of council meetings. We decided on what we wanted. And since then, it has been an absolute godsend. And I see how God's hand and God's timing was in all of this. And because with all the paperwork and stuff and the property that we have out here and the permits, 1 week before Sandy hit, our sign was erected. The timing was perfect. And we had our dedication service, and I referenced 1 Samuel 7, where the prophet Samuel says, this is our Ebenezer. You know, they made the pile of stones that we're trusting in God. We're God's people, and we're here for God. And that's what I said this sign represented. This sign represents our commitment to God and our commitment to this community, that we're here for the long run and we're here for them. And sure enough, a week later, Sandy hits. And that sign that we had up there, that we were a warming station, the shelter was open, we had food, internet access, was a godsend. And we had people coming each and every day, staying overnight for 24 hours. And now we still have people from the community, people who've never interacted with us, coming because they saw on that sign that we were helping folks in this community. And the Girl Scout troop has dropped off food for us. We've had monetary donations. People have donated Christmas trees. And it's still developing because of that sign. So that sign has been an absolute godsend. And I can do all this from the comfort of my desk on my laptop. I do no longer have to trudge out in the snow, the sleet, and the rain to change and chase those letters. I can put that up, you know, right from the comfort of my desk. And so I just absolutely adore this sign.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
The timing and everything. I'm going to tweak my light, but that's
okay.
Great. And this is just exactly what we're looking for. I just have a little reflection. I don't want to get rid of it.
Okay. Oh, you have to do it all again?
No, perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And the sun is coming in so beautifully behind you. It's really,
Thank you.
Really nice. Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about the process, the meetings, and what, how long it took and everything? You touched on that.
Well, it actually took it took us a little longer because this property was actually two properties, and we found out from the town board and the lawyer that if we actually combined it and made it one, we wouldn't have to appear before the town board with a lawyer. We could just observe the right-of-way and we would be fine. And so actually what I did is once we narrowed it, there were two companies that we had looked at. We had a council meeting. I had colored brochures of each sign company's products. We looked at it. We liked Stewart's. What caught our eye was their warranty. They had a great guarantee that we liked. The other one never mentioned the service end of it. And I called Mark, and he said, yeah, you just pop it in, you pop it out. We've got connections in Jersey and all that. And so we felt very comfortable ordering Stewart signs because we knew they would back it up if, heaven forbid, we had any problems. And so then it was just a matter of, we presented 3 different style Stewart signs. And they actually went for this, I'd say higher end one, the Techstar. But one person actually wanted to go for the higher one even more. But I'm like, all right, we don't need to go for that. But we looked at this and we realized it met all our capabilities. It was full color. We could put images up, videos up, letters up. And so once we decided on that, we just we sent a deposit to Stewart Signs. We also knew a company up here that had put in Stewart Signs in the area, and we knew them through another Christian community. We had contacted them. Stewart sent up everything we needed without us asking. And boom, it was here, and we did it. And it probably could have been even faster if we hadn't had to consolidate our property. So it was a pretty painless system other than running the permits back and forth to the township.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Technically, you mentioned how the ease of sitting at your desk, and then there's an input I shot out there to put in, and then there's a power tap out there for functions. I guess if you have functions out there, tell me a little bit technically about this wonderful piece of equipment.
Well, we tried to stay a little bit a step ahead, you know, and as technology is changing and we see as our use of that field is evolving, we realized that we have a lot of events out in the field. So what we did is we had them put outlets on the foundation. So if we need to plug anything in like Christmas lights or power tools, we can use that. But the beauty of the Stewart sign is that even if something happens with my wireless connection where I can't send them the information I need, I can just walk out there and plug in that USB file that we have. And I can change it any way I want. So that's what I did with this that's programming and running now. Stewart Signs sent me this program of our stuff. I just plug it in and it runs. I mean, but if not that, I just use the wireless from my computer and I can change it, you know, minute to minute. It's just incredible. And I have a young adult in my church who is very tech savvy, much more than I am. And I mean, she can get images and videos up there, all this stuff. And it really draws the attention of the community, especially the younger adults who this is their world now. Smartphones, computers, iPads, iPods, that's their world. You know, and so they're not going to look for that little poster sign that we wrote with the magic marker. They want to see that, oh, look, that church is current, that church is staying up with things. And I think that is helping to bridge the gap between us and the community.
Fantastic. You mentioned how the folks at Stewart were so responsive with emails. Could you just expound on that a little bit more and through the whole process? You can repeat what you said before, but... Well,
yeah, I mean, most notable is Mark Duschel. He was really a contact person, and he would call, you know, send me an email, how's it going? He would send the emails actually to the church email and my home email so I wouldn't miss anything. He sent his card. He would call me if I needed anything, and I could call him if I had any questions at all. And that was really, I found that very reassuring that I know I could call up and say, Mark, you know, what about this? What about that? And some of the questions to him, I'm sure, were like, you know, oh, come on, are you kidding me? You don't know that? But, you know, we were all new, and there were folks in our group who knew nothing about this. And so it was really comfortable to speak to Mark and the folks down there.
If a neighboring church came to you and said, hey, that is amazing, we're thinking about that, what would you tell them about the process?
Oh, I would tell them to do everything in their power to get this sign. In fact,
Could you insert that again and sort of answer the question, give your answer with my question, like if another church came to us,
if another church came to us, I would tell them emphatically, you need to get this sign. because you need to stay current, and the process is really not that hard. They work very well with the town board. It's not that hard of a process. The company is easy to work with, and you need to do it to stay current if you want to serve the community. They need to know what's going on in your church. And if you're not telling them, they're not going to know it. And you're not going to get new folks. And I have actually already had people from neighboring towns, and a friend of mine, a colleague from seminary in Pennsylvania, they saw we had the new sign, and she's already contacted Stewart Signs and is beginning the process there. It's a no-brainer. You have to have a sign that is current. You know, radio, it's okay. Mailings, they don't work. It's your sign that people are passing day in and day out that catches their eye and tells them who you are and what you're doing. And it's, if that's all we had, that would be enough. That's how much I think this sign is worth it. It is that important for a church.
Fantastic.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great the way you answered that. I think at this point,